Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Today is Friday, and all of our guests today, including Dan Near of the Western Hockey League, standing by, brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Looking for a midweek escape close to home? BC residents save 15% on weekday stays at the Bayside Oceanfront Resort in Parksville. Relax by the ocean, enjoy great dining, and unwind with island hospitality. Great golf courses nearby. Book now at BaysideResortParksville.com. We're joined now by former Adidas executive, now Western Hockey League commissioner. He's been commissioner since January 2024. Also spent time at the NHL's head office in New York. Dan Near. Dan, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
No problem. How a lot has happened, Dan. How would you describe your first year and a half or so in charge of the Western Hockey League?
Well, I was starting to wonder. It's been a year and a half, and you guys haven't had me on yet. So
we tried.
Attention to the Western League.
I think we had the wrong number. Yeah. Well, we lose Dan?
Frozen.
See, he took a shot at us,
yeah,
and that's what happened. Let that be a lesson to you people out there. Don't mess with Donnie and Dolly. We'll try to get him back.
Karma.
Okay. And, of course, one of the things we want to bring up with Dan and the people in Victoria, where our bosses are, well aware of this.
No.
They've lost 2 players to the NCAA. The Victoria Royals had a very good season. Cole Reshney, a player that is expected to go in the first round of the National Hockey League draft, is leaving the Victoria Royals for the University of North Dakota. Same goes with Keaton Verhoff, defenseman, also expected to make some waves in pro hockey, and off they go to North Dakota.
Very tough. Both young, high draft picks, and the Western Hockey League it's the elite kids that are leaving early to NCAA, Don.
As the NCAA, for people who aren't aware, the NCAA
they can now
changes
take these kids,
its rules, and Western Hockey League, Canadian Hockey League players can now play American college hockey.
If I'm the Victoria Royals, I'm not happy. And Donnie, they are not happy with what happened last week.
Yep.
Losing 2 stud players like that at a very early age.
How are we doing with Dan? Trying to get him back? Or should we take a break and try to get him back in the next segment? Okay. Dan, are you back? Western Hockey League Commissioner Dan Near, take 2.
I don't know what happened, but I think the internet in the building might have dropped, but I'm just on my phone, so I hope that's okay. Sorry about that.
No, it looks just fine, but you were in the middle of criticizing us for not having you on in the last year and a half, and that's what happens when you criticize Donnie and Dolly. Hey, Dan, we're just talking about this. The NCAA now allows Canadian Hockey League players to play American college hockey, and we've seen, a couple of players, Cole Reshney and Keaton Verhoff have left the Victoria Royals for North Dakota. Just your thoughts on what's happening with the Western Hockey League and NCAA hockey right now.
Well, thanks for jumping right into it. I thought there'd be a few softballs first, but, I think this is an important matter at hand, and everybody wants to know what's going on. The landscape continues to change in junior hockey, and I don't think anybody can say with tremendous certainty, here's where it's all going. But I think that, if you were paying attention, we think it's a good thing that at the end of the day, players have choice. We think at the end of the day, the long-standing decision that always had to be made at 15 years old, do I go the college path, do I go the major junior path, that tension is resolved. And so those are all good things. Now, as we go through all of this, how does it all develop? What happens? I think we feel really, really good that every player now who wants to go to the National Hockey League, who would like to play in Europe, play other pro, or go to youth sports or the NCAA, is going to look at the Western Hockey League as part of their path. Like, that feels really good. It's signal to us that, people acknowledge and recognize the strength of our league. And then what you mentioned off the top, the idea that guys are trying to identify what the development route is that suits their style, their needs as a young player. What I would say confidently is our track record, whether you look at NHL Central Scouting, whether you look at the NHL Combine, whether you look, more than 50% of all of the players drafted, I think, are coming out of the CHL. We have a tried, tested, and true model. And, I'd be lying if I didn't say it's a little agitating to suggest that overnight, seemingly, there's this little movement that says, hey, maybe only playing a couple days a week and a lighter travel schedule and drinking smoothies and pumping iron is going to be a much better path to the NHL. But I respect and acknowledge that people are going to choose what they think is best for them. But we've got a great deal of confidence that over time, we're going to continue to pump into the player standards and the development experience. And that, we'll stand the test of time. We're not worried about it.
Dan, I do hear from agents that, the Western Hockey League's heavy schedule, buses, doesn't allow for development as much as college would. They got a lighter schedule, more time in the gym. Any chance you may in the future lighten the schedule, or are you just happy with it and you're going to keep it?
Well, what we're not going to do is react in the moment. I think that, we're really confident that what we do and the track record we've built is a good one for players. Are there tweaks and enhancements, and can we augment travel standards, and can we look at nutrition and mental health and strength and conditioning in an augmented way? 100%. And you can expect those things from us. But the idea that we're going to just acknowledge that, hey, we should play less games and we should travel less, I'm not so sure. Most of the kids that are on their way to the NHL are going to the American League next. And I'll tell you what, the American League is no cup of coffee as it relates to what you have to endure to put yourself in a position to be successful. And so whether you're preparing for the American League or for the NHL, we think there's a lot about our system that makes a lot of sense. And we've got a lot of years of success improving it.
And Dad, still for me, the Western Hockey League is the best route. Always been a fan, 20, 30 years. It's absolutely the best. Okay, Chilliwack, expansion. You're talking to potential owners. First of all, how's that going? And when can we expect an announcement on the new owner of the Chilliwack team for the expansion team in Chilliwack?
It's going great. We've had tremendous interest, and we've worked really closely with the city. I think if you heard the press conference and the introductory work that we did, there's some regret that the Western Hockey League has that we ever left there. And we want to ensure that when we come back, we do it in the right way with the right leadership group that's committed to the city. I'm really pleased to share that there are multiple groups with major local ties to the Fraser Valley and to Chilliwack who are deeply engaged in this process. We're actively talking to them. We've got an upcoming board meeting in the Penticton area in a couple of weeks, and I'll be providing the Board of Governors an update at that time. And coming out of that, I think we'll have a little better direction on when we'll narrow down the list and on what time, and what the next steps might be. Because as you know, this isn't like the Penticton scenario where it was almost like flipping a light switch. You had a franchise, you have an existing fan base, you've got a brand. This requires really a full year lead up. If you think about, we need a team name, we need logos, uniforms, season ticket packages, community involvement, and there's a lot of work to be done.
You mentioned Penticton there, Dan. It might be obvious and I'll tell you what, anybody who's been to the South Okanagan Event Center, whether there's a hockey game going on there or not, it is very, very impressive. But why does that move, getting Penticton into your fold, make sense for your group?
Well, without a doubt, you want to be in places that have great hockey history and heritage and tradition of it being part of their culture. And it'd be hard to argue that there's anything more identifiable about Penticton than the V's. And so to onboard them into our league, I think is a great fit. When you think about the operational model of a junior hockey league, you've got to have a travel environment that makes sense, and they fit very, very well into the BC division. They're run by a great group of people who have a strong track record in the community and in hockey. And so I have no doubt they'll be successful. I have no doubt their season ticket holders are ready for this new step for the franchise. And we can't wait to drop the puck there.
And I'll tell you what, minor hockey, I've been involved in minor hockey. You go to Penticton, I wouldn't mind if you had games at the Memorial Arena. What a great job they've done
of
keeping up that facility. I don't know if you've been there, Dan, but it's very, very impressive. Hey, getting back to the whole NCAA situation, if you don't mind, do you expect your league to get younger player-wise?
we debate about this all the time, and I think we're going to have to be a little bit patient to find out. And so, if you look at some of the data points right now, where there's players coming from both sides of the border on the younger end of things, in the 16, 17, 18-year-old, you'd say, okay, it's skewing that direction. On the other hand, we don't know what's happening on the other side. We're going to have to wait till after the NHL draft, the NHL combine, NCAA rosters are finalized. But even if you look down the road, if you've got a high-end player who's going to wear a letter here, who might be going to the World Juniors with his CHL team, and be a leader, play special teams, they go down there, they end up as a third-line winger, and they're playing 12 minutes a game. Are they going to stay? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it'll be a great environment. We're just going to need time, and I think after a full season, we'll see enough data points to get a signal on how's it going to change. But we're not doing anything regulatory. We're not saying, hey, let's drastically change the overage quotient or anything like that. We're going to let it play out and see where it lands.
And finally, Dan, you wanted a softball, so I'm going to give you one here. Former Adidas executive, can you give us an idea of what kind of swag you would get on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Like free runners and tracksuits? Must have been amazing.
I'll tell you what, and living in Portland, believe it or not, Nike is there as well. As is Columbia Sportswear. So everyone that lives there is somehow connected. They all have employee stores. And so anybody who ever pays full price for shoes or apparel is a fool when you live there. And so we've got closets full of stuff. And it was a tough day for me when I left and my kids wanted to get in. They wanted Nike Blazers and they wanted Nike this and Lululemon that. And so, I'll spin that into saying we're really excited that we recently announced an Under Armour partnership, and they're going to be
nice.
the brand that we're working with moving forward. And so I've got a new allegiance, guys.
Oh, love Under Armour.
Hey, see if Under Armour can do something about your internet connection, okay?
Yeah, come on.
For next time. Thanks for this, Dan.
Hey, good talking to you, fellas.
All the best.